Have you ever been in this really awkward social situation with a new person and they say, "Tell me something about yourself"? Like, yeah, sure. Funny you should ask. I just prepared this very eloquent presentation I can walk you through about all things you need to know about me. No, it's such an awkward and such a broad question. Anytime I've been asked this, I don't know where to start. And I come up with like something so stupid, like, I've never watched Tiger King. And that's the best thing I can come up with. And for the rest of the night, at random points, I'm like, really? Tiger King? I mean, we didn't watch it, you know? Really? It's a very awkward question. But that doesn't stop people from asking it anyways. But let's say you are better prepared than I am, and you're in the same situation. What kind of response would you give? I'm a dog lover, I'm a long distance runner, I'm a dancer, and so on. Well, where did that come from? How do you know that you're a dancer? Or any of the other things that you identify with? How do we determine what we're identifying with? Where does it all come from? Our identity is shaped by what and who we have been exposed to growing up, our own ideas and beliefs, and the evidence that we have seen for all of this. You can probably recall being told when you were younger how you should and you shouldn't be acting. You were probably encouraged for certain traits, but not others. You may have realized early on that you were drawn to a specific area, let's say sports, or maybe art, music, studies, and so on, and you spent a lot more of your effort on those. You saw that you were getting better at them, which only encouraged you to do more of those things. Same goes for the things that you weren't so good at or you weren't encouraged to do. You did them a lot less. We shape our identity through experiences and beliefs, and we strengthen them through the actions. When you see that you're doing something repeatedly, you tend to identify with it a lot more, which only confirms more to you that you are who you think you are. And so this loop continues. So you keep doing this for years, and it becomes so ingrained in you that you can't imagine yourself being any different. Once we form these ideas about ourselves, we connect with an identity, and once we do that, we don't want to contradict ourselves. If I see myself as someone who is a bad cook, for instance, I'm not going to be going out of my way cooking or hosting dinner parties or looking up recipes. I'm probably going to avoid hosting duties, going to keep resorting to the same small repertoire of foods I know how to make, and I'm probably going to start backing out of conversations that are getting too deep into discussions about recipes and cooking in general. I know I'm not a good cook, or you know you're not a good cook, so you're going to stay in your lane. This may not be a big deal for most things. You can get by regardless of what you feel connected to or not, but how does identity play into our habits? What you don't identify with will keep you from success. What do I mean by that? Say you are someone who has decided that their mornings are just a little bit too hectic right now. They want to get up earlier and then ease into their morning. You want to get up an hour earlier, you want to have breakfast at the table, do some stretching, prepare lunch, and then be ready to go for work instead of just dashing out the door last minute like you have been. Pretty solid plan, except you're constantly telling yourself and others, I'm not a morning person. Or maybe you are someone that has been working on changing their diet. You're adding more fruits and veggies in, you're cutting out sugars and processed foods because you'd like to lose a little bit of weight, but you are constantly saying things like, I hate vegetables. The mistake that we make is we look at what we want to accomplish first, a goal, and then we look for ways to get it done, and then we hope that after we've been dragging ourselves through the motions enough times, it's going to change us. And we will somehow become that morning person that just jumps out of bed, ready to seize the day, or that person that loves kale and beets, and when we just really hated it before. Actually, kale and beets are actually really delicious. You add some goat cheese in there. Actually, that actually wasn't even an insult. That was a recommendation. But what we don't realize is that we're often wolves in sheep's clothing when we're showing up to these big changes in our lives. The problem with that is, as I mentioned earlier, is that once we identify with something, we work very hard to protect it, and we don't want to go against it. So we're running into problems because we're pursuing things that aren't in line with who we actually want to be. Much of who we even want to become and things that we want to achieve are actually based on ideas put forth by somebody else. We often get goals because we want to get somebody else's approval or impress someone else. We aren't even fully in pursuit, we're just kind of being dragged along for the ride. So if you have to force yourself day after day to get up early or eat foods you don't like, how long do you think you're going to be continuing on with that? Not as long as you'd like. So how do we approach this differently? Start with who you want to become first, then see how this is going to line up with what you would like to accomplish. Actually spend some time thinking about this and what this means for you and why you want to do this in the first place. Anything we are doing because of somebody else will have an expiry. And this might sound like you kind of have to lie to yourself, like, I want to get up early. I am a morning person. I want to eat Brussels sprouts. I don't mean like that. I mean, think about, why do you want to get up early? Is it because you care about reducing your stress levels? You want to be more prepared for the day? You are someone who would like to maybe have more control over your time? Are you someone who cares about your health? You want to just feel better overall, and you understand that nutrition is a really big part of that? Or you're someone that believes that you can do anything you set your mind to? If you approach it from this way, then you can answer the question of, why should I do this? When it comes up, when you don't want to be getting up early in the morning, you can tell yourself, well, I don't want to be stressed for the rest of the day. I care about my well-being, and getting up early makes that possible for me. I want to eat more vegetables because it makes me feel less bloated and sluggish. I care about how my body feels, and I want to put better food in it. Then it makes it a lot easier to go through the actions you set out. An additional perk behind making shifts in our identity is that it's actually a key player in our long-term success for the behaviors that we would like to adopt. If you are someone that cares about being less stressed, well, you're probably not going to stop at just getting up early. You're probably also going to work on getting more sleep and incorporating maybe some relaxation techniques or something like that. If you're someone that cares about your body, you might probably incorporate not just eating more veggies, but maybe incorporating more fluids as well. You're going to work on sleeping better and sleeping more, getting more activity in, and making other lifestyle changes. Identity change goes far beyond that immediate goal that's right in front of you right now. For lasting change to be there, this is crucial. It also changes the shoulds to wants. Instead of, I should get up early, it turns into, I want to get up early. And it makes it a lot easier to go through these activities if you don't have to drag yourself through it every single time. So, who do you want to become? Share in the comment section and let me know what you have been working towards.